Hello and welcome to More Than Just Mum, the podcast. Today's episode, we don't have a guest speaker. I am the speaker. And I wanted to come today and share with you a little bit more about my journey and my story. Because in the intro, I said that I would. And we've had some fabulous guest speakers on so far. And I just thought, you know what? Now is the perfect time to come in and just share a little bit more with you about my journey as to how I ended up at 39 with two successful businesses, two beautiful children, and a life that I could only ever have dreamed of at the age of early 20s, basically. So I let's rewind back to when I was how old shall we go? We'll go kind of 16, 17. Okay. So I was at college, was at school. I'd sat my GCSEs. Around about this time, I'd also decided that I wanted to quit my swimming career. So I'd swam in the World Championships, I swam in the British Championships as well. Um, and I was training, I lived in Blackpool, I was training in Bolton, like 12, 13 times a week. It was ridiculous. It was up at 4:45 in the morning, driving to Bolton. My dad took me to Bolton, 2 hours training session, 5 till 7, back to school, back to Blackpool for school, a full day at school, and then it was back to Bolton after school for another 2 hour training session. And in the end, we ended up buying a motorhome and sleeping in the car parks and just stuff like that. And I was one of four. I was the eldest of four kids. So I have absolutely no idea how my parents did it. But they did. And um, you just kind of respect when you become a parent, you respect what your parents did for you. So I had decided that, I didn't want to do the swimming thing anymore. I wanted to have a bit more of a life. And whilst I had a social life at swimming, I did get bullied. I got bullied at school because of, I've got big shoulders, had no boobs, that sort of thing. And it was, and I was ginger, strawberry blonde. And, you know, whilst I did have a bit of fun at school, I did get bullied and at swimming as well. And I was very, very talented. And I don't say that to show off. I say that because it's the truth. I was very talented. I could get in a pool, I could compete, and I could bosh out a PB, without a lot of effort. And I didn't really like training. I didn't like competing in 50-meter pools or long course pools. And I kind of made the decision that the Olympics was long course. Most of the major events were long course events, and I just didn't enjoy that. I really enjoyed short course. So I made the hard decision to tell my mum that I wanted to quit. And yeah, when you have invested as a parent, you will know this. Like when you've invested a lot of time and a lot of finances into something for your child, and then they come and tell you that they don't want to do it anymore, um, it can be, well, it can affect you in different ways, can't it? And to be fair, I can't remember exactly how my mum reacted, but I look back now and I always thought I'd quit that. I look back now and I'm really, really proud of that 16, 17-year-old Heather for recognizing that she was no longer happy and she actually decided to take action and do something about it rather than being really worried about what was going to happen when she told her parents that she didn't want to do it anymore. And I look back and I was so bloody proud of her. So then did my GCSEs, didn't go to the prom because there's no way I would find a dress that would look okay on me because I had no boobs. And I look back now and I'm talking about this now and it's making me quite emotional, to be fair, because like stuff like that shouldn't really stop us doing stuff that we want to do. But back then I had very little self-confidence, very little self-esteem. I was quite shy. And as soon as I got my hands on alcohol, as soon as I was old enough to drink, I just got drunk because I thought if I get drunk, people are going to like me. Okay. And being drunk, having alcohol in my system made me feel confident. It made me feel better until the day, until the morning after, right? So that was kind of my escape. And it wasn't the best option by any means. You know, we all learn, don't we? We all live and learn. Um, so that was um high school done, and my GCSEs, were pretty good. But I didn't know what to do after that. So I went on to my sixth form. Um, that was at the same school, that was attached to the same school. And I think it was around about that time that my mum and dad got divorced. Um, and I ended up smoking. And I remember I took business studies, and the exam, the mock, I don't know if it was a mock or a proper exam, was on my birthday. And I rang my tutor that morning and said, look, I'm not coming in. I can't do this anymore. Um, and I had really quite bad depression. I would just wake up crying. Um, and it was just crap. It was just shit because I didn't know why I was crying. I was just upset. I was just crying. I just felt like I just was just sad. And I remember walking to, I was on my way to the local spa, which is like a Costco, not Costco, like a co-op local shop to get some fags. Um, and my teacher rang me back and convinced me to go in and sit the exam. Didn't do particularly well in my AS levels. I also took history and I think I got an E. I mean, I still passed, like I'm not gonna, but took business studies, didn't really enjoy it, didn't ever think that I would be able to do anything with it. Don't even know why I took it. I took PE because I'm sporty. Like that was always kind of in the back of my mind. I wanted a job where I could wear my sports kit all day, and my trainers and not have to, you know, just wear what I wanted. So that one worked out all right. Um, I'm just gonna pause this for a minute because I need to go and blow my nose. So yeah, so I did my AS levels. I think I passed most of them. And then I just decided to go to another college where my brother was going and to resit and start again because I just didn't know what else to do. Um, didn't think I could go and get a job. Well, that wasn't my path. It was college and then university. That was, what I was kind of told. That was what society, what you did back then. Most people went to university. Um, and so that was what I was going to do. So I remember I decided to take computing, biology, PE, and did I do something else? Can't remember. See, best years of my life, obviously. And I remember lunchtimes at that college. I wasn't very good at making friends. I was a bit of a clown. I liked making people laugh. Should have been a comedian, shouldn't I? Like I liked making people laugh, and that was how I built my relate, if you can call them relationships, like acquaintances. Um, but I remember every lunchtime sitting by myself. Was never invited to go and sit with anyone for lunch. And I remember most lunchtimes going to my dad's um, and having a sandwich from the local shop at the end of my dad's road. Um, and that was where most of the time that I got to see my dad. Um, they did the best chicken mayo and egg mayo barm cakes they were called back then because I lived in Blackpool, Cobbs. Um, and oh my God, the most incredible vegetable soup. Oh God, it was so thick and creamy. It was absolutely bloody gorgeous. Um, so yeah, so that was how I spent most of, well, my 2 years at college. And then I went off to university. I had to go through clearing because I didn't get the grades I wanted. And obviously I studied sports. I went to Leeds Met, um, and I went and studied sports development because I wasn't any good at anything else. And this was the belief, well, I would have been 9. 18 at the time. The belief that I wasn't any good at anything else other than sports. Um, Again, looking back, really quite sad. I didn't have much confidence, much self-esteem. But I went off to university to Leeds Met by myself. And I went there because I was going to go to Sheffield and then I decided against it or I didn't get in. And then my one of my first boyfriends had been to Leeds Met, so I'd already kind of got a bit of bearings for what where you lived, the halls of well, I didn't live in halls of residence and stuff like that. So I kind of already had a bit of an idea of how Leeds Met worked. Um, but I went by myself. Went by myself. Lived in some halls of residence, not the university ones. Some in Armley. So those of you that know Leeds, Armley, right next door to the fucking prison. Um, it was called Armley Manor, and oh, just we had some good times. We had some good times. Um, but again, even on the Otley Run was a pub crawl that is famous in Leeds. Um, and I used to drink. This makes me feel sick, even just thinking about this. But I used to drink a bottle of wine, like literally would down a bottle of white wine before I went out on a pub crawl. Um, and I remember, ringing, I was with NatWest the bank, my overdraft had all gone, and I remember like ringing them up, and you had to ring them up in the olden days when I was growing up, and asking them, to increase my overdraft. Not a great relationship with money. Um, all a bit like bonkers, really, looking back. Um, but I'm quite enjoying this little nostalgic trip. Um, so yeah, so I got a lot of migraines at university, a lot of stress. Didn't really make many friends. Um, Ended up sitting by myself a lot of lunch times or going home. Um, and then I started going out with the swimming coach. Don't even know how that came about. Um, but yeah, we ended up getting together and I was like, oh, right, okay. Like I actually feel important now. I actually feel like I kind of belong now. Um, and that was quite nice, that sense of belonging. And obviously because I was with the swimming coach, like other people spoke to me as well because they thought I was okay. Um, oh my God, I have got a lot to unpick here. A lot to unpick. And it might be the same for you as well. So those of you that are listening to this, like just try, you don't have to speak to anyone about it, you don't have to go live on a podcast about it. But like if you start looking back over your life, you will see where some of your limiting beliefs come from now, or where they started, or where they originated. You will start to understand why you are in certain cycles and why something is holding you back. Um, for me, like I don't particularly like journaling and writing stuff out. I am a talker. Um, so I don't know whether a podcast is the best place to do that or not. But do you know what? If me sharing my story and parts of my story help one person, then happy days. Happy fucking days. Cheers to that. And this is my mug from Sophie. So thank you, Sophie. Cheers. It is just coffee. It is not gin because I haven't drunk alcohol. Well, since last night. I had a Malibu and Coke last night, but I haven't had a drink for quite a number of weeks actually. Um, but yeah, anyway, right. So university. So I got a lot of migraines throughout university. Um, couldn't sit exams, like really got poorly with those. Was on beta blockers, and then I was competing in the university books. Was it books? BUCS championships, and um was I on beta blockers then? Anyway, I ended up on beta blockers for my migraines and then couldn't take them. Really, really poorly with migraines. So I ended up getting lots of extensions, and then somehow, some way, I scraped a 2-1. Um, and do you do this as well? Like you're always just like making excuses for yourself, or yeah, well, I only did that because, oh, you like my top? Oh, thanks. It was like £3 from Primark. You're always like trying to justify yourself and explain yourself. So I got a 2-1 and I was just absolutely like over the moon because I was like, well, I only got that because I didn't sit that last exam. I wrote an essay instead and I'm good at essay writing. Um so yeah, so I am kind of proud of that 2-1, but I'm also like, oh well, yeah, I only scraped it. But Heather, like if someone came to me and said I got 2-1, I'd be like, oh my God, that's amazing, well done. Like we are so hard on ourselves, aren't we? So then I graduated, um, was still with my swimming coach, um, went to live in Grimsby. Oh my goodness. Oh, I'll carry on telling you about Grimsby. Went to live in Grimsby for 6 months. We were in like a bed sit where the like tradespeople stay for like, oh God, it was awful. Um, because my swimming coach boyfriend got a job over there. Um, so yeah, so then we found a place and we rented, and then I had both of my feet operated on. Um, my toes were like that, so I had them all cut. Um, and yeah, wasn't allowed any benefits or anything like that. We had to live off 16 grand, because that's what he was bringing in. Even though I couldn't work, they wouldn't give us a penny. So did that for 6 months, and I was like, this is ridiculous. Like I need to go and get a job. So healed from the toes, um, healed from the toes. So funny. See, I don't even know I'm doing it. It's just natural. Right. Okay. So, anyway, a job came up back in Blackpool. I said I would never go back home. But I ended up getting the job as a sports development officer, which was so exciting. And I literally went into that interview and absolutely smashed it out of the park. I was so, so proud of myself. Um, and I did that for 18 months. And then my still boyfriend got a job in Chesterfield, Derbyshire, which is where he's from. And then I ended up getting a job as a sports development officer within this area too. And I've been here ever since. Um, we then got another house, split up after about 3 months. And not long after I'd been working in that job, I I was sat at my desk. It was April 2011, beginning of April. And it was I sat at my desk and I was just thinking, oh my God, I'm knackered. 25, I'm absolutely knackered. There's got to be more to life than this. Like, this can't be it. I'm working 40 hours a week. I'm commuting an hour each way. I want kids. How on earth am I going to earn like a decent income, look after my kids, and keep a house as well? Anyway, the universe must have heard me because this was kind of like my first introduction to the law of attraction. So I was sat there thinking this. 2 weeks later, I was running an Easter holiday sports camp for the kids in the local area. And one of the mums came up to me and said, hello, I'm Sally. Um, I'm so and so's mum. Um, I know this is a bit unusual, but I'm just wondering if you'd be open to other ways of making money around what you're already doing without it affecting what you're already doing. I was like, yeah. What is it? Like, right, let me take your number because you're at work now, and I'll give you a call and I'll go through it with you. Anyway, we did. I think I cancelled once, well, rearranged, and then the second time we got together. And it was an introduction to network marketing. Um, the company was Forever Living Products. And I was so fucking excited. I was like, oh my God, this is my ticket out. This gave me hope. This was like the light at the end of the tunnel. I was like, oh my God, like I'm so excited, but I'm also really nervous. I've never had a business, but oh my God, this is so exciting. this is going to give me everything that I want. I went home and told me and my ex were still living together at the time, and he was like, "Oh, right, okay, it's a cult. You've been brainwashed." Like all this stuff, right? I was like, "No, I haven't. I really haven't." And anyway, so then I just got this new passion, this new energy for life, and I was like, "Oh my God, I'm so excited!" Like, oh, like there's this, and this. I need to tell my friends about this. I need to write a list. I need to do this. I need to do this. Anyway, that company, and the people that supported me on that journey changed my life forever. Okay, because they reintroduced me to goal setting because I used to do that when I was swimming. They gave me hope. They told me to start dreaming big again, and I was like, "What?" They were like, "Well, what kind of life do you want? Like, what do you want to create? What do you want?" I was like, "What? Oh my God, this is brilliant!" And I remember doing my first goal board. I've still got it. I've still got it at home, in the loft, and it just reactivated that imagination. And that's what I want to help you to do, like, is to reactivate that imagination, like get you bloody excited again. Um, excuse me. I want to get you excited again. I want to reactivate that imagination that might have probably died long time ago, when you were fit into a bloody square box when you actually wanted to be a star and you had all your spikes chopped off. Right. And oh my God, like I was so passionate about that. I spoke to everybody about that. If someone, oh, dead annoying. If someone came into work, into the sports development office, is at the council offices and went, "Oh, I've got a headache." And I think looking back now that they started to do this to take the piss out of me. But anyway, they might not have done. It's funny what happens when you look back. And oh, I've got a headache. I was like, oh, I've got a product for that. And a few people, I will be fair, a few people did support me, and but I think most people just thought I'd gone absolutely batshit crazy. I think they just thought I was off my tits on aloe vera. But I didn't let that stop me. I carried on, and I'd been single for 2 years, and I went on Plenty of Fish. Um, and on my profile, I'd put I was a successful business owner. I mean, I was bringing in at like a couple of £100 a month, if that. Um, and before was that a Plenty of Fish? No, before that, um, I got pulled into the office, and I was made to choose between my career and my business. And I went, I don't think that I've done anything wrong. I'd got my old boss had left, who was absolutely amazing, and I got a new boss who micromanaged me and made my life absolute misery. She wasn't very nice. She, like, everything that I did, she questioned, and I had to justify it. Oh, actually, this is something else that's popping up for me now. I will make a note of that. And when you just have to justify every single little move to someone, it just makes you feel fucking worthless, and it just makes you feel like a piece of shit, even when you're a good person. Well, that's how it made me feel. And I remember one day I locked myself in my house, and she didn't believe me. I was like, I can't get out of my house. Like, I am locked in the house. Um, she didn't like me working from home. This was like 2012. Anyway, so yeah, I got called into the office, and I was made to choose between my job and my business. And I went, I'll see you later then. I'll go. Unfortunately, I had some inheritance money that I used that year, and I had the best year of my life. Um, oh, I won't go into too much detail, but I met a guy called Mark, and yeah, um, met him around the country in hotels and just had some fun. Um, and built my business, and had that freedom, and that had that taste of freedom. And I was really fortunate to be able to do that. And then in the August that year, I came across a book called The Law of Attraction. Read the book. I'd been single 2 years, and wrote down my contrast to clarity. So this is one of the exercises. I'll put it into the show notes so you can grab a copy. Um, but the law of attraction, basically, I will do a podcast on this at some point, is that what you think about you attract. So I just been attracting like I'd been on Plenty of Fish for 2 years, and I'd been on some right dodgy dates. And I remember going on one. I thought, do you know what? I'm not going to go out for a drink in the evening. I'm going to go for a coffee. We went to Nero. Oh my God. Like, when you're like, oh, I'm gonna have to go. You think, oh, I'm gonna have to go soon because it like half an hour's passed, 30 seconds had passed, something like crazy like that. This date just completely dragged. And then, excuse me. Um, oh God. Anyway, so I did this contrast to clarity exercise, and then about 2 weeks later, I was gonna come off Plenty of Fish because I thought this is ridiculous. Like, there's gotta be some decent people on there. Like, I'm on there, I'm all right. A bit weird, but I'm all right. Um, and um, and then my now husband, messaged me, and we started chatting. We arranged to meet the week after. And 3 hours before we were meeting, because I can't be bothered with the small talk. Like, even like, not that I can't be bothered. I just find it really hard. Like, let's just jump on a call. Let's just meet up. Let's just go for a drink, see if we get on, and let's crack on. Um. Anyway, so we went for a drink, and that was it. Like, the rest was history. 3 hours before we met, he said it was his birthday, and he was going to use me as an excuse to get out of being with his family. And I went mad at him. I went, don't ever use me as an excuse. I want to be your reason, not your excuse. um, because what that year had done for me of going all in on my business was it had massively built my confidence and my self-esteem. And I was like, no, no, no. I'm not an excuse. I am a reason. I am a reason. Um, that was it. The rest was history. So I think I might leave it there for this episode. Cliffhanger. Um, because I have spoken. I am just getting over a chest infection. And my voice is going. I can feel my throat getting a bit sore. So, um, there you go. We just met. It was 2012. Um, and I am going to continue this podcast, part two, um, next week. So you will hear the rest of this story next week. So make sure you tune in. Make sure that you like and subscribe. Make sure that you share this on your social media platforms and you tag me in it. It is available on YouTube, Spotify, Amazon Music, and very, very shortly, hopefully, Apple Podcasts too. Take care. Have a great week. Thank you.